Welcome to Tradutex Portuguese Lessons Podcast. Olá, eu sou a Helena, and on this episode we're going to carry on talking about the numbers, os números, like we did the last 3 episodes, but today I want to give you some advices of how you can use the numbers in contexts. And the first context we're going to explore will be dates. The dates in Portuguese, as datas. As datas. As datas. And in order to express a date in Portuguese, we need to know first the order we do things. So we first start with the day, and you already know this word. Day is dia. The day, o dia. Don't forget, this one is masculine, although it ends at a, o dia. Then we need to say the month, and that is a new word for us. Let's learn it. Month is mês, the month, o mês. And finally, we end with the year. And in Portuguese, the year is ano, o ano. So we go like this. We start with the day, month, year. Em português, o dia, o mês, o ano. So first thing you need to remember is, and this is a good one, you will like this, when we say the day, o dia, we don't do like in English, we don't use the ordinal numbers. I mean, we don't say the first or the second or the third or the fourth. It's much easier. We just do the numbers as you've learned it before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So that's an easy thing that we have in Portuguese. Then we need to follow by the name of the month and finally the year. So you already know your numbers for o dia and for o ano. I need to teach you now the months of the year. The months of the year, os meses do ano. Os meses do ano. Remember, I told you that the word for month is mês, but when we make it plural, we need to add es at the end, or in Portuguese, es, and the word becomes meses. Let's do it again. The month, o mês. And then if it's plural, os meses. So I think you will find that they're not too hard. At least they're very easy to recognize. It's more just to get the right pronunciation. So let's go slowly, starting with January, of course, and you can repeat after me. Janeiro. I'll repeat this one slowly. Janeiro. 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 Fevereiro. Okay, about this one, I need to tell you that although the month, if we say it slowly, syllable by syllable, we actually can count 4 syllables on it. Fevereiro. We don't actually say it that way because it's a bit hard to go fevereiro. So what we normally do is that we put the middle syllables together, the second and the third together, and we get the word fevereiro. Okay? So we reduce these 4 initial syllables to only 3 when we pronounce it. Do you want to repeat after me slowly? Fevereiro. Now quicker. Fevereiro. That's it. So we have fevereiro, março, 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 março. That's right, março. Abril, abril, abril. Okay, let's stop for a second. We've done 4 months of the year, 4 meses do ano. Now that we got syllable by syllable, I just want you to pronounce them as we normally say them. So you can repeat with me. Janeiro, fevereiro, março, abril. That's right. Good job. Muito bem. Very well. Muito bem. We'll carry on, and now we have maio. It's a bunch of vowels in a row. I will tell you how do we spell this word in Portuguese. We spell M-A-I-O. This is in Portuguese. In English, just in case you haven't learned the alphabet yet, we have an episode on that, remember? It's M-A-I-O, but in Portuguese, M-A-I-O. Several vowels, 3 vowels in a row, and we pronounce them maio. Maio. Junho. Junho. There's the NH, NH in the middle, and that makes the sound N. N. Nha, 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 N. So we go junho. 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 And then for July, it's very similar. You really need to pay attention to make the difference between these two. So July is julho. Now instead of NH, NH, we have LH, or in Portuguese, LH. And the sound instead of a nha, it's a L. L. Julho. Julho. So June is junho, July, julho. It's really similar, these two, especially for the fact that they are one after the other, which makes things even harder. So just repeat one more time. June is junho, and July is julho. Okay, we'll come back to this in a second. Now we'll see our favorite for the summer, agosto. 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 Very well. Agosto. Okay, so we've done 4 more, 4 meses. Let's repeat them. Starting with May. Maio, junho, julho, agosto. Okay, let's go for the last 4. Os últimos 4. The last 4. Os últimos 4. Starting with September. Setembro. Setembro. Run it together. Setembro. Setembro. October. Outubro. 3 syllables on this one again. Outubro. 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 November. Pay attention, we start with the sound, we spell it with O, N-O, but we pronounce it as U. Novembro. 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 And the last one, o último mês, the last month, o último mês de dezembro. 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 Okay, I've tried to give you all of them, all the 12 of them, os 12 meses, in a very slowly way, so you could get each syllable. Let's just go through the 12 slowly, but at a normal pace, okay? At a normal pace. So come with me and repeat with me. Janeiro, fevereiro, março, abril, maio, junho, julho, agosto, setembro, outubro, novembro, dezembro. And now that we have the month, os meses, we can put them together on a date. For instance, today I'm recording this on the 8th of May. So that in Portuguese would be oito for the day, o dia, oito. So not 8 like in English, but just 8. And then, if we were writing this down, we would use a slash, of course, to separate the day and the month. And every time you see that slash, we say the preposition de. So, de, or in Portuguese, de, and that just means of. As if we were saying 8 of May. And in Portuguese, that is 8 de maio. 8 de maio. Okay? And then we would have another slash to separate the months from the year, o mês, o ano, and we would repeat our de. So today would be something like 8 de maio de 2022. We have 2000, 2000, and 22 that we say like 20 and 2. Remember? So we go 2022. So today's date, and the word for today, I think it's a good time to learn it. The word for today is hoje. Hoje. If you're wondering how do we spell it, I will say first in English and then in Portuguese. We do H-O-G-E, H-O-J-E, hoje. The H in the beginning is silent, and we also drop the E at the end. So H in the beginning is silent, E at the end is also silent. So the only thing you get is the sound hoje. Hoje. So if I had to say today is, okay, we'll start with hoje é is the verb, is, hoje é dia 8 de maio de 2022. Do you want to say it with me? The whole sentence? Hoje é dia 8 de maio de 2022. Okay, so just to practice a little bit more, we'll think about tomorrow. So if today is the 8th, tomorrow will be the 9th, right? Same month, same year, but a different day. So you already know the word for tomorrow because you've learned it on the first episode with me. Remember when we did see you tomorrow? Até amanhã. Até amanhã. So the word is amanhã. So let's go again. Amanhã é dia 9. That's right, you remembered. 9. Amanhã é dia 9 de maio de 2022. And so on. So if you know your numbers and if you remember the months of the year, remember that every time we have in the middle of day and month and year, we use the word de, soft de. Don't try to pronounce that last E at the end, okay? Just do the sound of the consonant de, and you can do your dates, as datas. Okay, just 2 or 3 more little tips about using numbers. For instance, if we talk about money, and if we're in Portugal, our currency, as you know, is the euro. And euro, we say in Portuguese, euro, euro. Okay, I know it ends at O, and normally if a word ends at O, we tend to pronounce that O like a soft U. But this word is quite recent in the language, and we pronounce it really in a very open way, which is not what we normally do. So we do say euro, and then if it's plural, we add the S and it becomes euros. And euro starts with a vowel, the vowel E, or in Portuguese, E. So it means that when we say certain numbers ending at the letter S, we tend to run the number and the word euro together, and that sometimes changes a bit the pronunciation of the number itself. So for instance, we'll think about 2 euros, which is something that we say quite a lot, right? 2 euros. So the word for 2, as you know, is the word doish. And if I am saying this slowly, I go dois euros. No problem, it's totally understandable. The problem is that we don't normally speak slowly. Devagar. Remember the word for slowly? Devagar. We don't normally do it devagar. We tend to run the two words together. And here we have a little problem. The word dois, we have, let's spell it in Portuguese. Let's do it in Portuguese. D-O-I-S. So you have E-S, and then euro starts with E, which means that the letter S is between two vowels, which means that I need to do like the sound of a Z. So if I want to say 2 euros, normally, I have to say something like 2 euros. You see the difference? If I split the words, I have 2 euros, but if I put them together, I get 2 euros. 2 euros. And you might think that we are saying 12, because the word for 12 is 12, and you have the same Z sound at the end, the same Z. So how do we make a difference? How can we tell the difference between 2 euros and 12 euros? And here's the secret I have to tell you. When we do 2, we really run it together. Let's do it again. 2 euros. But when we do 12, we will read that last E of the word with the sound of a E. So if we do it apart, 12 euros is 12 euros, but we never do it apart. So we put it together, we say it quicker, and it sounds like 12 euros. You see what I did? I actually pronounced the last vowel of 12 with the sound of a E. So we do 12 euros, and that makes totally different, isn't it? So we have 2 euros for 2 euros, 12 euros for 12 euros. And you can apply this same rule, for instance, to tell the difference between 3 and 13, because 3 is três, same situation, ends at S, and we need to run it together, and we get 3 euros, 3 euros, but then that Z sound might make you think about the number 13, 13. So we'll do the same thing. When you want to say 13 euros, you will pronounce that last E of the word with the sound of a E. So 13 euros, we say 3 euros. So 3 euros, 3 euros, 13, 3 euros. Okay? So 2 and 3, 2 euros, 3 euros. 12 and 13, 12 euros, 13 euros. And by the way, you can carry on saying 14 euros, 15 euros. We don't only do that with the word euros. We do that if the following word starts with a vowel. Another good example is the word for years, anos. So if we're telling our age or someone's age, if you want to say that that child is years old, 2 years, you will say 2 anos. You see the same thing because the S between the vowels, we read it like Z, 2 anos. But if it's 12 years old, you need to put the E sound in the middle, 12 anos. 3 years old, 3 anos. 13 years old, 13 anos. And again, 14 anos, 15 anos. So that E becomes a E to run the 2 words together. Okay, I hope you found this podcast helpful. I know the numbers sometimes can be a bit tricky. I hope you like it. Tchau, até a próxima.